Like, Snaz
I have. Shut up.
Nah. This man's just gonna call a bunch of fallacy and call that Spurgy.
Okay, but so yeah, Snaz. Why do you think
Bro,
your
Snaz-
character
bro,
wins?
Wait. How does this guy turn off his video? I don't know.
I'm just gonna just click on his thing and press disable video, so you don't have to see that thing on the side of your screen. So yeah, Snaz, why do you think Spider-Man or whatever character you were using, why do you think they win?
The story of Spider-Man.
What do you say?
So Spider-Man simply built around being amazing and well known. So I would classify.
Why does being well known and why does being well known matter in this case of the debate? Because technically, I could just argue my character is well known, or not even well known. The fact that my character is known at all would just kind of break your argument, unless you're saying that being more known is like a trait of winning or win con, which I'd like to hear.
Am I allowed to speak?
Sure.
Am I allowed to speak?
Now that I'm done talking, yeah.
Can I finish my point?
You already made your point very clear.
My point.
You already made your point very clear. Oh, you didn't make your point clear? Then why do I already understand your point if that's the case?
Spider-Man's story is built around him being amazing and well known. You'd have to prove to me that that's what your character's story.
I don't need to prove my character is well known unless you can prove that being well known is a win con or means to win, which I stated for you to prove, but you still haven't.
So, okay, yeah. Okay, so which backs up to the point of me being able to finish my point. The reason he's not going to lose this fight is because as long as somebody knows him, the story of Spider-Man will live on. So
you're arguing necessary existence. Scoob, do you hear this, mans? What? They're using my own tactics against.
It's worse. Bro, it's worse than necessary existence, bro.
Snaz, your character is contingent. I don't care. You have to prove your character is necessary in any world.
Bro, as long as I know who Spider-Man is, the story of Spider-Man.
Again, you need to prove that your character is necessary and has contingent, or not contingent, but existential traits. Unless you do that, being known does not matter at all.
Bro, wait, hold on. What do you think I mean when I say I'm arguing the story of Spider-Man? Can you bring it up like it's more?
I don't care. You're arguing that he's necessary. That's obviously the case if you're saying he can't be killed because he will always live on within the minds of people or within the story. That's the same thing that someone was trying to argue against Gwenpool, okay? Now I'm just going to tell you something right now, okay? That's not the case. Because this simple thing, right, is that you'd be arguing that character is unnecessary. Because as long as your character is contingent, he can be killed. Now, if you're going to assert that your character is necessary, you're going to need to prove why he would be necessary in every single world. You're going to need to prove that he would exist in every single actual world, and that he'd be an actual person. If you cannot do this, then I'm simply going to just dismiss your claim.
When you say my character is contingent, what do you imply?
I'm implying that he only exists in some hypothetical worlds, and not all hypothetical worlds.
Saying he? Why are you saying he? I don't get it. Do you not understand why?
I can say my pronouns as long as I want, as long as I'm referring to your character. No, I'm gonna call it freaking a red herring or something if you don't get back on track, mister.
I'm not debating.
Because I'm not gonna tolerate. I'm not gonna tolerate ratting in this debate.
No, because I'm not ratting. You don't seem to understand what I'm.
I do seem to understand, and you simply don't seem to understand what contingent and what necessary is. How are you gonna bring up in a debate and say I don't need to understand? You don't even understand what contingent means.
I don't think you grasp what I'm debating with. I'm debating with a story. I'm not arguing necessary existence. I'm arguing this.
You're arguing that the story of Spider-Man would be necessary. If you're saying that I can't kill him simply because it will always be known.
Listen, hold up. Because here's your big problem, right? Why don't you define so it's not necessary existences?
You're a freaking idiot. Okay, I'll just say this to freaking debunk you right now. Let me ask you a question. Does your character exist, or the character or the story exists in every possible world?
It exists in the people's minds to know what.
Again, every single possible world. Yes or no?
No, not in every single possible world.
Okay, now you just admitted to your thing being contingent. Now I'll explain why being contingent means that he can be killed. If your character is contingent, regardless of if it lives in the mind, it lacks that existential trait. If it lacks that existential trait and it does not exist in every hypothetical world or possible world, this would mean that your character can very much well be killed, regardless of your remembrance of him. Because I'm not arguing existence erasure, I'm arguing just a killing of your character. Characters that can be killed remember, live on. For example, Uncle Ben, that character can be killed. For example, I'll even give an analogy of a character who was recently killed. For example, God Emperor Doom. That version of Doom is completely gone, completely erased. that is what the current thing is. But the fact of the matter is, I still remember him. So what does that mean? That just means that it's a contingent character that lacks existential traits, which is why it can be killed.
No.
Yes.
I agree. He can be killed. The story of Spider-Man.
I don't care. Bro. I honestly don't. You can say that it's going to continuously live on, but that's obviously not the case if your character is contingent.
My guy, can you prove to me that your character can do such as if end the story is fine?
Again, I don't care. The fact of the matter is your character is contingent, meaning what you're saying is just wrong.
Hold on, I don't even know who your character is.
I am picking Protege. That's my character. Now let's get back on track. Your character is contingent. What you're saying is just completely wrong. You admitted to your character being contingent when you said that it doesn't exist in every possible world or hypothetical world. This obviously means that your character can be killed in some type of way, regardless of if you're saying that the story is wrong. And not only that, but you admitted to your character being able to be killed. Now I'll get to your point, because I understand what you're saying. You're saying that your character is just going to keep on being resurrected or brought back because of the story, right? This isn't the case. This won't be the case because, I'm just going to prove that your character is like a contingent existence. Now I'll explain what my character can do, right? My character is basically the embodiment, or not the embodiment, but is like the representation of the authors. She's metafictionally entailing. I'll send that scan for you, bud.
Yeah. Listen to me. You still I don't know if you're doing these gymnastics where you can't wrap your head around what I'm trying to argue here.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this, you're a freaking idiot. Why are you gonna try to tell me I can't wrap my head around? Do you clearly not understand your own point? Do you not understand your own story, bro? Like, that was not funny, bro. You said gymnastic, no one laughed at that, bro, at all. No one is laughing at that. That was so lame, bro. I hope you understand that was so lame. Like, I honestly hope you understand that, Snaz. Now, let me scale my character for you, or else I'm gonna keep spurring on you, you idiot. Can you let me do that? Can you be a good boy? Come on, Fido. Be a good boy. Come on, be a good boy. Let me scale my character. Be a good boy. Be a good boy, Snaz. Come on, be a good boy, Snaz. Come on, be a good boy. Let me scale my character. Come on, little kid. Come on, little kid. Let me scale my character. Okay? Shush now. Now I'm gonna continue to talk over you. Now, my character is basically the embodiment of the one above all. Now, this or not the embodiment, my character is the one above all. The one I'm using, the current gen, right? This is obviously being the one above all. Now, I'll explain why this would mean, obviously, that she'd be metafictionally entailing a representation of the authors themselves. Now, basically, right? Hold on. So basically, right? Okay, so in this scan, it's stated the most powerful character in the multiverse is the one above all. Not only does he possess more power than any known entity, but he is believed to represent the writers and authors of common Marvel comics. Now, if this is the case, right? If this is the case, that means Protege can just delete any story she wants. Your character's existence is contingent upon a story, right? Now, if this is the case and their character's existence is contingent upon the story, this will obviously mean that my character will erase the story, meaning, therefore, erasing your character, and any immunity can be seen. Now, I'll explain why that scan you just sent is contradicted. So let's say, no, I want the power of the one above all is meant to be mine, all mine. Now, I'll explain why technically, no. I'll explain why this is not correct. So basically, right, after this, you'd have to prove that scan was after the scan I sent. So can you do that real quick for me, Snaz?
What do you mean? What do you want me to do? Read the comment?
No, I want you to just prove that scan is before the scan I sent. Because the fact of the matter is, it says, no, I want to be the one of all, I want the power to be mine. Obviously, she's referring to a want that she's already gained. This wouldn't make sense and this be logically incoherent, since obviously it is present within my scan that Protege has the power. So I'm going to need you to prove that this scan right here that you sent was present after she had already gained the power of the one above all. I don't care what you have to say, that's your burden, because that's what your assertion is.
Can I speak?
Sure.
So you said, why do I have to prove that the scan came before she claims to be the one?
I never asked a question.
Why would that make any sense? It actually became...
Did you just ask me, or did you say that I asked the question? Like, what are you doing here?
I'm saying that you asked the question.
No, I didn't.
I've literally heard it. If someone wants to record,
You can record. I'm recording right now, actually. Because the fact of the matter is, I never asked a question. I told you that what your burdens are and what your things are. I told you to explain, or not explain, but I told you to prove right now, right, that this scan happened before my scan and happened before she was already present with the one above all's abilities. That is exactly what I asked you.
Judges, can we agree on a time where I'm allowed to speak?
Now, when did I say judges, and when did I say there were judges apparent within the debate? We never actually agreed on the judge. Krusty, shut your mouth. I never agreed on you being a judge. Now, Snaz, I never said that I agreed to judges, nor did we establish inherent judges. If we're going to establish inherent judges, then we're going to need to restart the debate right now, Snaz.
Gabriel.
I don't care. Restart the debate, or we're not going further with judges. Simple.
You agree
That's how it's gonna go.
Judge.
You agree with the judge, Gabriel. You
What?
agreed with me being a judge.
No, I didn't. At all.
Yeah, you did, because then you said that you would call out any poisoning.
Proof?
Right after.
Proof?
Oh, okay, he's right.
Proof?
You can show the proof. You
Proof.
recorded it.
Yo, alright, bet you got that recording? Drop the recording.
Sorry, I'm recording on OBS. This file's too big to send an actual Discord. Sorry, bud. That's just simple math right there.
All he's doing is just keep speaking over.
Snaz, I don't really care what you think. The fact of the matter is, I'm gonna continue to speak over you if you say dumb things. Everyone knows it here. Triox knows it. Jacob knows it. I'm gonna speak over you if you say dumb things. That's how my style is. So, what you're gonna need to do is prove that I agreed on judges. Unless you're trying to drop that point, which okay, that's fine, drop it. But unless you're gonna drop that point, you're gonna need to prove there were judges.
Right, I can't hear anything I'm saying now because I've muted him.
Okay, congrats. If you muted me, then I'm gonna say this. Truck, someone could tell him that he's just compromised dialectics. GG's, boys. You idiot, fell for my trap.
I'm the only admin here in this call, so bad about it.
Yeah, Triox, tell him he compromised dialectics by muting me. Triox, tell him he's, compromised dialectics by server muting me.
Snaz, you're compromising dialectics by, locally muting him.
Yeah. And explain to him that since he's no longer progressing the debate and engaging in a dialectic with me by server muting me, he has now compromised that dialectic. And
by no
unfortunately...
longer progressing the debate, you are compromising dialectics and... what was the thing? Why is that relevant, though? We didn't agree on anything.
Tell him that a dialectic is like those inherent logical principles. If he's going to say that there are no such thing as logical principles, then say there would be no such thing as fallacies within this context. That is, if he's asserting that.
Snaz, a dialectic is like the logical principles of the debate. Yeah, and I'm saying, why is it logical that he can just keep speaking over me and does nothing about it?
Because I'm not defining a logical principle. Because I'm not defining. No, say because I'm not going against any logical principle.
He's not going against any logical principle. Okay, in my opinion, that's going against...
Say that his opinion is invalid and facts don't care about your feelings.
Your opinion is invalid and facts don't care about your feelings. Okay. It's literally what he's telling me to say. Bro, if I mute him, what, like, he just keeps speaking over? Like,
yeah, I am going to continue to speak over you. Unless you're saying something relevant or smart.
This guy, like, I never get to finish my point, and what he's doing is explaining it for me when he doesn't actually comprehend the point.
He doesn't comprehend his own point. He doesn't understand what contingent and necessariism is. He doesn't understand any of these.
Snaz, just to see if you're hypocritical or not. Do you know what contingent means? No, go on. Yeah, elaborate.
Oh my god.
Okay, elaborate. So if you don't know what contingent means, then why are you getting mad at him for not understanding your point when you can't understand his point? Because his point doesn't hold any relevance to my point.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Ask him, tell him, are you arguing that that Spider-Man is contingent upon his story, and as long as the story is living, Spider-Man is living?
Just speaking, I can't hear you. Snaz, are you trying to say that since Spider-Man's story always exists in someone's mind, he will always exist? No, stop saying he, bro. I'm not arguing.
Tell him the story.
I'm not arguing one singular character, I'm arguing a story. Okay, so...
No, you said Spider-Man. He said Spider-Man at the beginning of the debate.
Yeah, unless he
said the story of Spider-Man.
No, he said they didn't say the story of the Spider-Man, he just said Spider-Man itself, and he just said he wasn't arguing with the character, when obviously he'd be arguing with the character if he said Spider-Man in the beginning of the debate. That is how debates work. He did not specify the story of Spider-Man, he just said Spider-Man in itself. That, again, is how debates work.
Well, to be
Alright,
honest,
Gabriel, he said the story Spider-Man.
Yeah, I can't like.
Gabriel, you know what you're doing right now? You're being a fucking rat.
Yes.
You're acting like Arrow right now.
Because he's being ignorant. I hate when people try to say I don't know what I'm talking about. He just got mad because I explained his entire thing for him, his entire point before he even got to word out. Literally, he's saying I don't understand his point when I basically said his point. He's saying this Spider-Man is like contingent upon a study. He's saying Spider-Man's existence is contingent upon the story, and as long as the story exists, Spider-Man will exist. That is what he's saying. What do you want, Krusty?
Bro, this is hilarious.
You won't be able to understand his point if you're talking over him the whole time.
But I already understand his point, though. That's the problem. Do you get that, right?
You're assuming shit. You're like, oh, I know.
Okay, well, let's see. I said to him, so Spider-Man's is contingent upon the story. He proceeded to tell me afterwards that I'm not arguing for Spider-Man, arguing for the story. If that's the case, he's arguing the story's existence in replacement of Spider-Man's existence, meaning that the story would be contingent upon Spider-Man, and that Spider-Man would be contingent upon the story. That's what his argument would have to be if he's arguing for the story, because otherwise it would be logically incoherent and irrelevant to the actual debate or point. Okay, I literally explained his point for him, and I already understand his point. In fact, I gave him, right, an opening for what he could do. I mean, obviously these openings won't work on me, because I already know the debunks, but I gave him an opening. I gave him the chance to say whether they were necessary or contingent, and gave him an opening to prove his point. He did not follow this opening, and he admitted to them being contingent. That is basically therefore conceding, because that would mean that the story itself would not be necessary if Spider-Man is not necessary. That's the problem. Okay?
To me, because as far as I'm concerned, as long as I know Spider-Man, the story.
You're a freaking idiot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's dumb, boys. Okay, so Triox, can you server mute him or just do this? Because I'm not going to engage in a dialectic if he already compromised dialectics with me.
I don't like to
Tell him he already conceded the debate by compromising dialectics.
Snaz, apparently you conceded the debate already by compromising dialectics. I can see, bro. How am I compromising dialectics?
By server muting me, because he server muted me. I don't.
How does he? I didn't server mute you. I just turned.
Okay, so now that you have me unmuted, are you aware what compromising dialectics are?
Volume down.
So anyway, Snaz, are you aware what compromising dialectics is?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't care. It's putting my volume down to the point you can't hear me. I don't care. These things do not matter. Not only that, but I have a recording of you saying you're gonna mute me, so it doesn't matter either way. So the point is, right? So anyway, the point is, the reason why I'm going to prove that compromising dialectics and that dialectics are inherent within the debate. So would you agree that fallacies are inherent within the debate?
No.
Okay, so if that's the case, then that means I just say I won simply because the basis that I won. Simple. I just won simply because the basis that I won.
Okay, I won.
Okay, that's fine, but I'll just local mute you and say that means you didn't win. In fact, Triox, give me mod for a second. No, Krusty, shut up. No, actually, Krusty, shut up. I never agreed to you being judged, and you have no proof I agreed to you being judged. So, Triox, give me mod for a second, so I can explain to him, so I can show him an analogy and prove to him why things are dumb. Give me the mod real quick. Just give me mod real quick.
Mod? You want mod?
Yes, give me mod real quick, bro, so I can explain to him. What do you say?
I can't give you mod, but like...
You're admin. You're literally admin.
I can't. I made a rule that we won't give anyone admin or mod.
That's dumb. Whatever. I'm just gonna local mute him and say that I won, since apparently fallacies or nothing are not inherent within a debate.
Oh yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, totally.
Apparently they're not. I don't know. Apparently fallacies or anything, we don't have to follow rules of the debate. Meaning I'm just gonna keep him local muted and say that I won. That's how it works apparently now. I hate debating lorry classes.
You're a fan of like the Spider-Man story, right? You scale that shit a lot. Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, Mario. So basically, I'll explain to him so Mario. Basically, he was trying to say at first that the Spider-Man story was necessary, and then he went back on his word and said that they don't exist in all possible worlds. But he's saying that apparently Spider-Man, as long as we have a thought of him and we remember him, he will never die. I asked him to explain why that's a refutation fallacy, because just because something is living in our heads and thinking in our heads does not mean something cannot die, and just because Snaz and I tried to explain to him that things that exist in your basically, right, and I'm explaining to him that things that are in our mind do not have existential traits, meaning regardless of whether we think of them in our mind, that does not mean they will always survive.
I understand that, Gabriel, but you also gotta understand the main point that he stated, that there's infinite possibilities in the realm of Marvel. saying that Spider-Man is a constant.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, the problem
Possibilities,
is, Mario, the fact that you're saying possible, hypothetical possibilities, concepts, these things all fall under the line of not having existential traits until proven to have existential traits. You could say that there are infinite possibilities, infinite realms, all that stuff does not matter until proving they have existential traits.
Okay, as he showed, like even somebody who has control over all metaphysical and other traits of the verse can't even stand up against Spider-Man.
I don't care, because those characters are also contingent, since they don't exist in real life. There is no fictional character you can bring me that exists in real life.
That they're real life?
No, he's stating that they're, as long as we remember them. Basically, he's giving them he's trying to give them existential traits, that since we, the people, remember him, he will always survive. That's what he was trying to freaking give me.
On which scans did he use?
He didn't even give any scans, that's the funniest part.
Yeah. then again.
Hey, I have a question for you, my guy.
Yeah, wait, let's not talk though.
Sure, I'm not gonna let him talk because he's a freaking idiot. All he does, right, is try to insult my intelligence when he doesn't even understand. Sure, go there, I don't care. He's a freaking idiot. All he does is try to insult my intelligence when he can't even fathom what a freaking contingency is. that would go it. Yeah.
Can I ask how this even started?
Oh, that's basically, he tried to tell me Spider-Man versus Protege, that was like, fine, whatever.
I think I'll explain it just so that, like, the judge basically explains it, right? So
there was no judge.
Right? No, I know, but like, there's always three sides to the story: your side, his side, and the truth. Right? So basically, right?
Okay.
I invited Gabriel in here because I wanted to have a rat off with him. He negged me, and then Snaz asked him to debate on the story of Spider-Man or Spider-Man versus any character Gabriel wants. Gabriel picks Protege, and then proceeds to inform Snaz about dialectics, foundation, contingent, and coherent, and all that shit. And then proceeds to, like, I don't know, just fuck Snaz.
Yeah, brought up big words that were too big for Snaz. I heard that. All I heard was, like, necessary existence, and the minute he asked that question, I was like, oh no. If Snaz answers no, then it's just...
I mean...
He really answered no, that was hilarious.
When he said, does Spider-Man have, what's it called, exist everywhere? Like, fucking, what's it called?
Like, in all hypothetical or possible worlds.
Yeah,
every possible world.
And I know it's scale. I'm like, oh my god, that's literally sounds just the same as Naruto's necessary existence scale.
Yeah, he was basically doing the same thing, except arguing that the story being contingent, or the story being different. I'm on OBS, I can't actually send it in freaking, yeah.
You go over and just so I can see a specific part.
What do you say?
Can you go over real quick so I can see a specific part?
I mean, here.